Hey there, Bear fam. Welcome to another episode of Bear Thoughts. Last month, we spoke about how sustainability is so deeply rooted in the Indian DNA, and we highlighted this in the way that we celebrate our festivals. In this episode, we spoke about how Indian practices are designed to reduce waste and burden on the planet. In more ways than one, these ancient practices act as a guiding compass, pointing us towards a more conscious way of living. Working on this episode, it got us thinking about the omnipresent nature of sustainability. By virtue of the work that we do, we're constantly reminded of how closely it is woven into the fabric of our daily lives. Around the same time, we stumbled upon a blog written by Fireside Ventures, and it's called Founder's Guide to ESG. It covers themes such as the impact of plastic, the ubiquitousness of it, recycling plastic, and circular solutions used to tackle plastic. It's a super fascinating piece that got us to think differently, and I implore you all to give it a read. A major concern that was addressed in the blog post was the excessive amounts of plastic that customers are having to deal with nowadays. The fact of the matter is that the bulk of the plastic that lies around in your house actually comes via packaging. The tiniest of little items are packaged in layer after layer of plastic, and sooner than we know it, all of this plastic mounts into one giant heap. A simple and an obvious way of tackling all of this waste is to start by segregating it, to ensure that the dry plastic waste isn't mixed along with the wet, biodegradable waste. If mixed, then we're going to have to deal with smelly garbage and unmanageable waste, which is only going to burden our already burdened landfills. Handing over the waste to our trusty waste collector can help us to responsibly dispose of our dry waste. But there's another way of thinking about this too. As a consumer, pause for a moment and think about the items that you use daily. Right from the time that you wake up, you use a toothbrush, to a body wash, to straws, and so much more. Where does that packaging go? What impact do these products have on our waterways and land masses? If they're going to eventually land up in a landfill, while polluting waterways in all probability, it's not a good product to have sitting on your shelves. According to the blog, India's FMCG sector is expanding rapidly, with more than half of the country's plastic stemming from this industry. In a utopian world, the companies would be held accountable for the waste that they produce. Though we may not live in an ideal world, we can certainly aspire towards it. If more brands began to think along these lines, we can see a shift towards innovative product design to reduce waste right from the beginning. By adopting circular models, businesses could focus on creating packaging that is either infinitely recyclable or entirely compostable. Imagine a future where product packaging generates value, or better yet, disappears without leaving a trace. A brand leading the change is Zero Circle, which is pioneering alternative packaging solutions through seaweed that are free from harmful chemicals like phthalates and volatile organic compounds. Their seaweed-based packaging offers a sustainable alternative for food, takeout, and more, ensuring consumer safety while completely eliminating plastic waste. Speaking of compostable packaging, at Bare Necessities, we're also committed to minimizing and eradicating the creation of plastic packaging by moving towards a sustainable packing paradigm. As a brand that prioritizes sustainability, we wanted to reduce our customers' packaging footprint. That's why we chose to innovate with compostable packaging. Similarly, we chose to move away from PVA, a synthetic polymer which is often marketed as a lining that can be dissolved. However, there are many studies that show that 75% of PVA remains in our waterways and soil systems after being dissolved and requires extremely specific conditions to biodegrade. Hence, our no-fuss solution was compostable sachets that have vegetable ink printed on them so that they can completely disintegrate into the soil. Sustainability within brands and companies cannot be relegated to products alone. It extends to the entire business model. There is a commitment to adopt sustainable practices from sourcing materials responsibly to employee welfare policies. Companies undergo rigorous testing and certifications by independent third-party organizations and independent certifications to ensure that they are ideal for both people and the planet. For example, we are B Corp and PETA certified, Fool, a brand that we love, is EcoCert and Fair Trade certified. It's a testament for the commitment that we all make for our stakeholders involved so closely in our journey. And as a consumer, every purchase you make towards a brand like this, you are responsible to push the needle towards a healthier planet. Sustainability is an ongoing journey and requires us all to be active participants in the journey, beyond just being passive spectators. As we explore the choices being made available to us every day, as consumers, we can support brands that prioritize ethical practices and environmental stewardship. Making mindful purchasing decisions, we can collectively drive demand for products that are good for us and the planet. Each time you choose a product with sustainable packaging or support a company with a commitment to ethical sourcing, you contribute to a larger movement for positive change. By spreading the word far and wide, you inspire everyone in your tribe to embrace sustainability in our daily lives. Small steps are truly impactful, and together, we can make a significant choice one step at a time. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. Until next time, let's continue to make zero waste living the norm and not the exception.